So, throughout this semester, if you've watched these videos regularly, you've seen the same format, right? A pithy greeting like this, followed by a funny GIF that may or may not be appropriate for what I'm saying, due to the fact that my brain kind of is wired differently than most. Once you see that, and I say something above it, well, I move to Brightspace and continue through the introduction. Then we show you the weekly announcement and all the stuff you have to do. Then we go over and we click on the masterclass schedule over here. And, of course, this one is all the way at the bottom since week 15. But that's pretty much what we do every time, right? But wait, there's more. Yes, it's now December. And yes, I'm wearing an elf set. And I've got some sort of a weird holiday background. But hey, I did it all for Halloween with Scooby-Doo, right? So might as well. So why am I deciding to step in front of the curtain this week? Well, I wanted to show you that for our oral presentations, it's probably really cool that we see who you are. That we hear, well, you have to be at least heard, but hopefully that you see who you are. You have a little screen up there to show me who you are while you're giving your presentation. You can give your presentation with a side screen of the actual PowerPoint. As long as I can see the PowerPoint and you, we're in good shape. I have to definitely hear you too, so that's a good thing. But I also wanted to underline the fact that this presentation is due no later than 11:59 p.m. Eastern on Sunday, December 8th, 2024. That's Sunday, December 8th, 2024 by 11:59 p.m. Does anybody know why it's got to be that time? Why, that's right, Virginia. There is indeed no tomorrow after that. Because the semester will end on the 8th at 11:59 p.m. So if you are turning this in later, it's a 0 because it's not going to be turned in. Okay? Make sure you get that done. So, why am I deciding to do it like this? Well, there's a lot of stuff that you can look through. You can look through all of the different Google Docs and Brightspace documents that are on the announcement, as well as the weekly course schedule. There we go. But honestly, I'd rather talk to you about it and figure out kind of what things should look like. So what I'm going to do after I click this video off and go back to what you're used to is I want to show you the PowerPoint that I created for my fake presentation. It's a sample. And I'm going to show it to you twice. Once to kind of show you the actual presentation specifics of it, and I'm going to talk over it. And then I'm going to kind of go back and show you the actual file and let you see the notes and kind of what's under the hood if it was, okay? So, this was me. Back to normal. In any case, week 15 here, you've got the conclusions matter, developing presentation skills, effective visual aids, which is actually quite helpful, and using technology to present information. So, conclusions matter, we talked about that. We talked about that already for the paper and the idea of conclusions and how to conclude and so forth. And honestly, this is no different than the actual conclusions of the paper itself. Developing presentation skills, I'm kind of going through all this. You can watch all these videos, absolutely, but honestly, I think you're going to get more out of just listening to me. Then, what we've got is the effective visual aids, which is actually quite helpful. You can look through this and you can see another PowerPoint. You've got the basics here, and then down here it kind of shows you how to incorporate ideas into your presentation, as well as some presentation skills like recording your voice narration, which some of you may not know how to do. Using ScreenPal's free screen recorder. I end up using Screencast-O-Matic, which is actually quite helpful. But this will be very helpful as well. And of course, the using technology to present information, this is great. If you want to use Office 365's onboard technology, that's great. Google Docs, Google Slides, Google Sheets, that works as well. And then here, we've got PowerPoints and Google Slides to show you how to share your presentations. Here's where to get some of your videos and sound, and of course screencasting. Screencast-O-Matic is what I used to use, and I believe it changed to Screencastify? I can't remember. It changed names after I signed up for it. And then when you share your presentation, you're just going to upload it just like normal, okay? So, that's fantastic. But all this talk about this, what are we going to be presenting? Well, we discussed it last week, so let me go over here again and bring this up. It's a smart idea to look through the announcement I sent last weekend to go back and look at the presentation page to see the requirements. Regardless, remember that you need to be 5 to 8 minutes in length. Your presentation must feature visuals of some sort, most likely PowerPoint or Google Slides or Canva or Prezi or other equivalent software. It must have hit on the 5 bulleted points brought up in the requirements, and, just to help you, those are right down here under structure and content. Boom, 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 and boom, okay? Make sure to take a look at them. I want to know what your topic is. How'd you decide on the topic? Is it relevant to your major or your career plans? You know what? We're going to go through all this. It's all here. We talked about it. It's here again if you need it, okay? So, let me show you the PowerPoint that I promised. I'm going to go through it twice. Once, I'm going to show you what it looks like for the presentation, although I'm not going to be presenting it in 5 to 8 minutes, so don't worry about that. And then I'm going to show you under the hood. So this is what it's going to kind of look like, okay? We've got my title slide here, and we've got our title of the presentation. We've got the student's name. Now, I put Kevin Mitnick, and if you don't know who he is, you might want to look him up. He's kind of a geek culture guru. He was one of the first major hackers in the world. And then, of course, what department you're going to be submitting it to, English department. What school, Delaware Technical Community College. What class, this should be Composition 2, that was a typo. And then your teacher's name, that's me, hi. And as we go through, you will see that we have transitions. And as you can see, I have the terms coming up as I'm talking. So I can, click on the button and things will pop up and fade in, because honestly, if you put everything up all at once, the reader or the audience is going to follow you until they're done, and they're just going to click to the next slide anyway, okay? So notice that I have appropriate images on each slide. I'm also using a design that looks like a circuit board because I'm talking about international cyber police and things like that. So it's got the green and the yellow and so forth, but you can still read it. You can still read it. It's clear. It's easy to pay attention to, okay? Again, appropriate image, and we've got the text. We're going through to make sure that everything pops up as I'm talking. I'm making stuff up here, what my major is, what I plan on doing, and so forth. Again, appropriate image, and then we go through with the things I wanted to discover. This is going to be the end result of your research questions. So I think I listed 3. Yep, 3 of them. And I explained, what they are. Great. Then we go through and we have more images. Notice that every page has, or every slide has an image, because of the simple fact that your reader does not want to be bombarded with nothing but text. Think about the videos that I've given you all semester. Everything's got images popping through, okay? The animated GIFs, simply because I know no one wants to see nothing but text, okay? So here, we've got our thesis slide, and then here we're starting our research recap. These are my, I think, 4 main argument points. I have 1, 2, 3, and please note that now that I'm using external source material, I am now citing them as well. Okay, I've got a citation there, a citation there, and a citation there, as well as on the next slide, I've got a citation here. Please do not be afraid to use animation to have your pictures or your text come in. Because if you do, that's great. Don't have it continually. Hold on. Don't have it continually doing that, okay? Because if you have it doing this all the time, then it's going to get really confusing and really distracting, okay? Once you get to the argument, you get into the counter argument. I've got my 2 counter argument points with external citations. 1, 2. Then we go into our rebuttal. I've got my rebuttal points right here, okay? So everything kind of meshes together. It follows the same format as your paper. So obviously, since we're finishing our rebuttal, my next slide should be the conclusion. Oh, I'm sorry. The conclusion comes in a second because we're adding a slide into this. It's the interesting results of my research. So things that you found out that you didn't already know, things that changed your mind of what you did already know, or other things that just kind of went, wow, that's crazy. I didn't know that, okay? By the way, this movie here is fantastic. It's Hackers. Yes, that is Angelina Jolie there, and that was her first husband, Johnny Lee Miller. Some of you may recognize him from CBS's Elementary. He was also in Trainspotting. But great movie, horribly outdated by now, but great movie. Loved it in college. Here is my conclusion slide, and it kind of ties everything together. And then finally, the all-important any questions slide. I understand that none of you can ask questions right now, but please put down here your email if you are welcoming your peers asking you questions, okay? And then we have our references. Please understand that the references, I only have 6 posted here, and I have 7 to 8 in my paper. If you do not use a reference from your paper in your presentation, you do not list the reference in your presentation. Only use the references that are used in the presentation. Does that make sense? Perfect. So that's the end of the actual presentation. Let's take a look at what it looks like outside of it. So if you look down here, you should be able to see the notes underneath the main slide. If you can't, let me do this real quick. Okay, what you would do is you would click the View button, and then there's a Notes box here. You can toggle it on and off, okay? So if you download it, you should be able to see my notes. If you can't, then go to View and click Notes. So I'm going to move this back down, and I'm going to actually open up the notes just a little bit more so you can see it better. I'm explaining on each page what we have to do. Opening slide, this is where you introduce yourself. It's where you establish who you are on the slide itself. And then we kind of start moving forward. We establish the topic. We mention what the topic is. We lay the groundwork to explore the argument itself, okay? And honestly, all of the different ideas up here, you can go right back up and click on Insert, and you've got pictures here that you can put on there. Animations are what I just used, like you click on something like this, and you can choose an animation pane, like, you can do whatever you want to do with it, and make it go however you want. Same with the text. You just highlight the text, and you can, let's say we want to do Grow and Turn. There we go. So you can do whatever you want to do here with the text and with all of this, and then you can set it on the animation pane in which order you want it to come and how you want it to go by right-clicking. On-click means that you have to move your mouse to do it. With previous comes with whatever comes before it. After previous, the one that comes before it ends, and then this one starts. It's all there. It's easy to play with. Everyone here should have an easy time, okay? We get into the next slide. We're talking about your ethos. Remember we talked about ethos? Your credibility. What is your major? Why did you choose this topic? What experience do you have with this topic? What do you hope to do with this information moving forward? Okay? And then, let me close this. There we go. And now we're talking about your minimum of 3 research questions. You already done this. You did this early on in Unit 3. So just go back and look for the building unit research questions assignment you turned in, okay? I cannot remember the date of it right now, but it's there. And then you can look and see what you've used. Then we start talking about the thesis statement. What is your thesis statement? Why did you make it that? Okay? Go in now for your research argument. Tell me kind of the highlights of each of your claims. You should have a minimum of 3 claims. Of course, I had 4. But if you had 3, it might fit on one slide. You might have 3 separate slides. Whatever you want to do with it. Then, of course, we go into our counter-argument and show me at least your 2 counter-argument points. Once again, your counter-argument was first put together in your discussion board. Then it was put into your paper. So you have all this information already. This PowerPoint should be low stress for you, okay? Just make it look pretty. Your rebuttal here, and then, again, your interesting results of your research. I want to know 2 or 3 items that you discovered that were interesting about your topic. I wanted something to come out of this besides a grade. I want you to kind of tell me what's interesting, okay? Then, of course, we have our conclusion, bring some closure to everything, our any questions slide, and then our references, okay? So these presentations are meant to be fun. They're, yes, meant to give you a grade, but they're meant to be a little bit more fun, okay? So take your time, enjoy it. You got a week to do it. Record it, upload it, and sit back, relax, and enjoy the show, okay? Does that all make sense? If not, go back and review it. If it still doesn't make sense, email me early in the week so I can help. Don't feel like a cotton-headed nitty-muggins. So like I said, you can go through the details of the week. These two, they're there. Effective visual aids will help you. Using technology to present information is very, very helpful. But honestly, going through the video and kind of seeing how I was relaxed going through it, what I was presenting. Now, granted, I did go very quickly because I know none of you want to watch a 20-minute video. But we're getting there. But for your presentation, it's only 5 to 8 minutes. Take your time. Just breathe. And now, my friends, we have one final thing to review. The final project of the semester. And remember, it's due by Sunday, December 8th, 2024 by 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. There is no next day submission because the semester ends on Sunday, December 8th, 2024 by 11:59 p.m. Eastern. Period. Game over, man. Game over. So once again, all you need to do is record a 5 to 8 minute presentation of your Unit 3 research paper topic. And I'm looking for pretty much 7 to 10 slides, okay? So preferably you're going to give me a title slide, 7 to 8 content slides, and then at least one references slide along with any questions. So at minimum, we're looking at 10 slides total, okay? But everything you need is right here, structure and content, as long as you hit these 5 points. Take a look at my sample that we just went over. That will help you. Excuse me. Make sure that you have everything here, and you are absolutely allowed and encouraged to use first person, I, me, my, because it's your presentation. Everything you need is right there, okay? So, that's it. It was a long semester, and you've made it to the end. For probably all of you, this is your last English class you have to take. For a few of you who are looking at English 122 or English 124, well, I don't teach them. So you're in luck. Thanks for all the time you spent this semester trying your best. Those of you who put a lot of effort into your submissions, it made my life easier. Better papers are easier to grade after all. I hope you have a great winter break regardless of what you do or don't celebrate. Good luck in your future courses, and I can't wait to see each and every one of you walk across the stage at graduation. See ya.